Yo, what's up, Banter fam? I'm coming to you guys live to give you guys a little bit of an update. We started getting some nice hour volume candles to the upside. Doesn't mean anything yet. Are we out of sideways phase just yet? And if we do start to recover, what are the main levels we want Bitcoin to go to? Where are we now, and what are we actually looking at now? We're at that point where we got the futures close out tomorrow. I think this is going to create quite a bit of volatility in the market. And we got Max Payne sitting at around 43,000. And then we have another one next week, and that one's sitting around 46,000. So now we're starting to get a little bit of hints, possibly that we coming to a near point where we're going to start coming out of accumulation. And I did like to see all of this greenness on the side of here. And that's what I'm going to do for you guys on this show quickly. We're going to be going through Bitcoin, going through dominance, and going through a few altcoins just to see what is looking good, what has happened over the last few days, and just give you guys a peace of mind and to see what are we looking for next in the market. Let's get into it.
Click, have you heard the news? What? With his finger on the pulse, it's like Sheldon knew. Click, when the sniper shoots, we got Sheldon on the charts, so we never lose. Enter the sniper, sharpshooter advisor. Enter the sniper, he marks the charts right. Enter the sniper, he's calling the cycles. So enter the sniper, click. Time to be dedicated, sniper mode is activated. Explosions in the market are in target, and Sheldon demonstrates. Mirror on the wall, Master Sheldon tell us all. We got Sheldon on the chart, so we never lose. Enter the sniper, sharpshooter advisor. Enter the sniper, he marks the charts right. Enter the sniper, he's calling the cycles. Enter the sniper, click. Enter the sniper. Enter the sniper.
All right. So, Banter fam, what's up? How's it been? I do apologize for not doing my shows too often this week. It's been a super amazing conference. We've been pretty busy. It's been really cool to get into the fans' minds and just to see, what are people thinking? What has happened over the last few months? And where can we tweak our game? Where can we keep improving and making sure that everyone's getting the information they need? And they're feeling like they're part of something. And I think that's one thing that separated us on a massive scale at this conference was, our community at heart. We had feeling like we were just the name of the actual event. We had so much life going through us, and I just love the absolute community. We bring in the right people together. And the amount of friends that were made, the amount of things that happen is absolutely amazing. And if I can encourage you guys, anyone that is getting in or you're getting quite serious about crypto, is to try and make some of these conferences. It will change your thoughts a lot when you start to see that you're not alone through this. Actually, tons of people that are getting into it. And you just learned so much in a short amount of time. So I think it's really good. I think crypto is still quite scary, especially after the flushing out of retail. There's not much interest, and sometimes you just want to be around people that are thinking very similar to you, and I think that's the best way to find it. Remember, guys, if you are brand new, to hit that like, hit that subscribe button, join the best family out there. We've been here every single day. We've been here at the high of 65K. We were here at the low of 29K. We're here again at 69K. And now we are still here at 42K. And our main purpose is to bring you guys coverage of TA, fundamentals, gaming, and just giving you a bunch of informative, decisions that we make and all the knowledge that we've managed to build in the last, few years. I think we have a really good experience. We're growing very quickly. And I really think 2022 is going to be a massive year for Crypto Banter. I think we go #1 in the world. I definitely do. And our community is absolutely amazing. To hear all the stories, because there's a lot of success. Like, people have done really well. And the guys that have done well are actually the ones that joined us in the beginning of last year. The ones that joined between the region of January to March last year are the ones that have made really good money. The ones that came a bit later are obviously going through this correction with us at this point. The simple flashing and that, but it just shows you guys a few months in this game. A lot of people buy the tops. When I first came in, I bought the top. A lot of people lose a lot. I know Rand said he spent the whole of 2016, 2017, buying the tops, not understanding what's going on, And once you get past that first level is when you really start to, you know, crack something, and you know, then it starts to pay off. So majority of the guys I spoke to has done fantastic. Some of them has 5x, some of them has 10x their total portfolios in the last year. You know, they guys that they stuck it out. They use the times of redness in the market to learn, and then when it's time to make money, they actually knew what to do. And I think that's the problem in this game. Like, if you know, if someone comes in and just makes money in the beginning, like, you don't know control of that money, and that's why you're going to lose it. Like, it's quite simple. So you've got to go through a bull cycle, you've got to go through a bear cycle, you've got to go through a sideways cycle. Then next time it happens, you know, you've been through all 3 cycles, you've got a better understanding, you understand your strengths and weaknesses, and now you start putting together. So I really encourage guys that if you are coming in and you're new or anything like that, you know, sit here and learn, put little bits of money, learn how everything works, learn how platforms work, learn how stop loss works, learn how to set up all your wallets, learn how to move money around, learn how basic TA works on high, small time frames. Just understand how everything works, and then take $50 and go trade the crap out of the market. Go trade tons in this market. And what I mean by that is, if you really want to just get in over and done with and start getting a little bit more comfortable, the only way I did that was through trading a lot. Like, I literally just traded and traded and traded. And what it means is I traded on 15-minute charts, on 1-hour charts, no big money at all. I put all my money into it, and that was my biggest downfalls. But one of the best ways to learn in this game is to take $50 and to trade the 5-minute charts, to trade the 15-minute charts. Take a very small amount of money and learn how it works. Because remember, the market cycle, the way it plays out on every single time frame. Every time frame, it's the same pattern, guys. It's just patterning. It's just showing you the pattern of emotion. Same thing every time. You know, I look at this little pattern over here on the 4-hour, and if I go back all the way now to the daily or the weekly on Bitcoin, I'll see a very similar sort of pattern. And it just shows you that it's just a repetition of that. So, you know, get comfortable with the stuff. When it's time to make money, it's time to make money. But learn, and enjoy this whole thing. Understand how everything works. Because when you make the money, if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to lose it. And one thing that Rand said in this week is super important, is, you know, losing first and making the money comes with a really good, like, it's fantastic actually, because you first learned the bottom and then the top. You know what's the worst feeling? Is making all the money and losing it all. Like, imagine 10xing or 20x in your account and losing it all because you never knew what to do when you got to the thing. So it's good you're going through a bear cycle. It's good you go through these things as well, because the next time we are up there, you know what it feels like when we do go into a bear cycle, and you're going to take some profits. You know what I mean? It teaches you the valuable lessons. Remember, I can teach you a certain percentage, but the market's always going to teach you. So if you want to get into it, don't use school fees money, is what I call it always. Jump in the charts, go crazy, learn how everything works, move money around everywhere. Once you understand everything, then you can start making some better decisions, and you can really start hitting this. I think, you know, I do think still next year is going to be maybe a bear cycle or something. I think the stock markets are going to have a bit of problems next year, or even right at the end of this year. But I think the next 6 to 9 months in crypto, though, I think we can still do a lot. So prep and get ready for it. It is going to come strong. So let's jump into it. I do apologize for all the intros. I love chatting to you guys. I love just sharing my thoughts. It's not about me doing the perfect calls every day, guys. It's about you understanding something. If I'm not there, what do I do and how do I react to things? I'm just trying to share my knowledge and help you guys understand things a lot better. Now let's jump out. Let's have a look. So Bitcoin, quite boring, right? This is why I wasn't rushing too much for shows either. We just got to learn to be patient through this little phase. You know, we had a little small breakout a few days ago. We're thinking, okay, maybe we're going to go up to the trend. And, you know, the charts, you know, Bitcoin just wasn't ready yet. And now we're at this point where we keep dipping, and we're still forming this basically sort of flag or wedge to the downward side, which is good, because this is showing us now, you know, it's becoming a really good trend. The fact that it's going on for so long. It's very similar to, you know, we're on a bigger scale now, but it's very similar to this region over here. You see how we were just trailing down for a while, trailing down, and you can see how accurate that trend was and closing outside of that trend. So at least we know that, you know, this is just a bigger scale of that. And this is what we actually want to be seeing. We want to be seeing a close out of that zone. We want to be seeing this flatness. You see this flatness that we got over there. It's very similar to where we're at here. We want to be seeing that. And obviously the next big signal for us is the break of that resistance. So what's happening with Bitcoin is, you know, we had 2-3 days of indecision. We had the long wick candles and that. And I like that we've managed to, you know, this little daily candle we're on right now, we managed to raise about, what, the last 3 days of bearness. The last 3 days they've tried to get this market down. We've managed to reclaim it on one daily candle. So, you know, we're at that point where we're very similar to here. Like, you know, we're getting a little bit tired. And I think we're going to approach a zone now, which is around about the 45,000 zone. And when we get there, I think it's going to be a big decision. We want to see, because I see volume coming in when we get there. And if I show you guys over here, there's not much volume that was backing all of this, you know, this indecisive sort of stage over here. And I see the volume coming when we start entering this sort of level over here, you know, which could be in the next 2-3 days. It could happen any moment, you know, it could just come out of nowhere. But I want to see at any point here, you know, slow sort of grind to these levels. And then I got this very key level of the 45,000 zone. I think that's a critical level for us to break, between 45 and 46. So that is sort of the next zone I'm seeing us make our way up to. And it's critical that we do break through all of this resistance over here. You know, we've been going down in a while, and when we did have this long resistance in play like this, you know, breakouts, even if we go test the 46, that'll be great. Come and test it. And, you know, let's start getting some growth back into these levels, back into the 50K. It will then bring a lot of confidence back in the market. That fear and greed, I know Randall showed earlier on the earlier show, powerful chart, guys. You know, in the last 3 years, we've had the fear and greed sitting at that levels, you know, only 3 or 4 times in the last 3 to 4 years. We're at that stage again. And obviously you can see the difference now is we always a step higher every time. You know, the first time we're playing between 6 and 8,000, the second time 10 and 12,000. Now we're sitting between 40 and 45,000, you know what I mean? So we're still trailing strong. The bears have done well. They have done really good. But, you know, to be holding 40K plus still on the as the bottom so far is still in favor for the bulls for the remainder of the year. Definitely, we're still trading up and things are looking good. So I'm seeing a little bit push up in the market over here. I then started to see that the alts were starting to react well. We are getting a little bit of Bitcoin dominance bounce, but we're not getting any higher highs just yet. So it's looking, you know, as Bitcoin's going to make its way up to that trend line, we're going to have the alts rally strong with it until that. And I think maybe if we do get the strong Bitcoin breakout where we did previously, you know, we want to get that long, we want a 6K candle, guys. We want a 6 or 8K candle. Then we know it's real. Until then, this little move to 44, 45, you know, we're in accumulation. We want that where, you know, all of a sudden we look and Bitcoin's at 52K or 50K. That's when we know, great, because that's what happened the last time. You want to see that explosion. You want to see just finally get out of the dumps. Let's get out of these zones. Let's get out of the 40K zone, and then we can start to breathe again. And that's when I see, you know, if Bitcoin does have that 10K, you know, I see a spike of dominance taking us around the 42, 43 percent sort of zone for dominance. So that's looking good. Total's good. Total 2 is good. You can see total and total 2 are sort of overpowering today. So it means Bitcoin, Ethereum are slowly starting to wake up. Which is good. You can see the Ethereum dominance is up, the Ethereum to Bitcoin's up as well. So it's a good sign, guys. You know, it's usually a reset sign when we are getting the big daddies waking up and we're starting to get a bit of greenness. So it is a good sign. Something that I'm keeping an eye on is the stock market. I just want to keep an eye out for the Dow Jones around the 34,000 zone. You know, I want it to be holding that level. I think that's the only thing that can spoil a big bouncing Bitcoin. Is this, and it looks like the daily RSIs are at the bottom and we are reset at that point. So far everything is still looking good and looking well. Now let's go through. I don't know how many of these charts are actually still updated. Coti, guys, see how we broke out, see how we tested, see why I love retest buys. You know, Coti is still in a good investment area for me. If I can catch around 36 cents, I think it's worth a shorter term sort of look at it as well. But I think investment wise, Coti, you know, we've got good volume. We've been working against trend, and we're still sitting beautifully at the zone. So this is looking good for me investment-wise as well. We got Theta, guys. Theta was one we got in the region of $4. Should be 12-15% up on the Theta call, which is good. I am seeing Theta rally up to about 5.7 here. I am taking a little bit of profits at that zone. Let's get out of vlog here, which is it's about $6. I'm going to take some sort of profits because I do see possible there, and then the breakout. So I'm going to take some there. I just used this Theta trade to actually make some Bitcoin. So I took a little bit of Bitcoin. I then bought Theta with it. We're now outperforming Bitcoin by, you know, 12-13%. So I made some Bitcoin. And this is still showing me a good amount of strength of Theta until about $6. And then I'm going to turn my Theta back into Bitcoin for now, as I do see that dominance is looking quite strong. So that's looking pretty good. Let's jump onto ETH, guys. Let me actually clean the chart here, and let's see where we're looking. We still have a really good higher low in play, which is good. If we have a look at the RSIs, let's jump in there. RSI on the daily. We're sitting in a zone we don't overbought just yet, which means, you know, it's very similar to what I was saying now, where Bitcoin possibly to 46, get ETH up to about 3.7, another then small pullback back to 3.3, and then the slow grind back up to the level. So it's looking like ETH, I wouldn't be going crazy yet, but I do think ETH's going to come back after a little rally now. Let's say we go about 3.6 and then back to the levels we're at now. And I think that will be a good investment wise, you know, to continue dollar costing. ETH anywhere between 2.9 and 3.1. I think investors should be looking at, you know, this on a weekly is all hit the bottom. Everything's looking great on ETH. So if you are ETH lover and you're looking for some good investments, I'm not short-terming trading ETH just yet. It doesn't have that massive explosion just yet. But I think investment-wise, you don't want to miss that opportunity. You can see my sort of drawing that I'm looking at for Solana. I think this is the accumulation zone. We're looking good. We're getting bought up a lot in these zones. I'm thinking anywhere between 125 to the 140 sort of level. Investor wise, I think dollar costing is beautiful in the zone. We know how Solana rips, and if this market turns bullish and we get a Bitcoin back to 50K, you know, I see Solana back at $200, back to $250. So I think it's one not to miss out. I do think it's going to take a little bit more time. So I'm thinking a little move up to about the 170, possibly back to the 140, 150 zone, hovering a bit, and then we'll see from that. So I think investors should be quite interested in Solana. I think you know, everyone wanted to buy it when it was $240. Now people are looking at it, they don't want to buy it at 140. Remember, change that psychology, guys. Change the way of thinking. Let's look at Kusama. This is one that's for me. It's a buy now, a short-term buy, and a long-term buy as well. This is something that I'm looking to stock up on. You know, we've made a beautiful higher low. We've got bullish divergence. We are perfectly on trend, and we're on the 0.618. So investment-wise is great. You know, short-term wise as well, will be putting some sort of stop loss, you know, around $240 in that zone over there, and I'm going to let this one ride. So this is looking good. Kusama's looking really good. I think it looks great. I think EGLD is an absolute bargain. You know, this is a really long leg down, and usually we have a nice little, you know, what do you call it? Even a retracement to the wave, and a retracement to this wave is all the way back at about $380, and that doesn't even mean that's even healthy. It means that we can always bounce there and come back down to a lower low at any single point. So the gains for me here, risk to reward, is massive. You know, I can be looking at 100, 150% to the upward side, and I can be looking, let's say, a 20% or a 10% risk through this trade as well. So this is looking good. Remember, the weekly is right at the bottom. It's like super oversold. So for me, EGLD, I don't want to miss out. I'm not going to be too many short trades on it yet, but investment wise, it's looking great. I saw Luna, guys. So let's just clear up the chart. There we go. So Luna's looking good. It's getting to a nice little level. As you can see over here, you want to basically draw this trend in play there. And you can see how we're basically forming this nice little flag at this point over here. So, you know, a close of Luna above $88, you know, between today and the next few days will be a really good sign for Luna. I think it can make its way back to all-time high. I'm not going too crazy investment-wise here, but if we do start closing above, I'll possibly take in some swing trades on it. I think investment-wise, it's done so much already. I think we'll get it cheaper in maybe months to come. Yeah, I think short-term wise, I think it looks great. RUNE, fantastic for me. I still think this is a investor's dream at this point where we're sitting. It's at really nice levels. We're actually forming a massive like flag, if you can call it. You know what I mean? We're right on support right now. We have the weekly at the bottom. We have the monthly at the bottom on stochastic, and you can see how big this wedge is. So not even a break of all-time high, but a move to these levels over here. You know what I mean? You're looking at 150%. So risk to reward is making a lot of sense here. So RUNE's looking good. AVAX, this is one of my favorites now. It's looking good. This is on chart of the day. Remember, guys, to join, use the links below in the description if you want to join our websites. We've got chart of the day. We've got so much information that's out there. Make sure you are using that. Look at AVAX. AVAX looking fantastic investment-wise. I'm not going too crazy short-term, but investment-wise, it's at really key levels and it's looking good. Polkadot, I think this is great investment wise. Look how we're holding this long-term trend. We are at golden ratio 618. So anywhere, between $20, $25 per dot accumulating at this level, I think it's gonna do really well. So dot's looking good. I saw Cardano had the nice little push. And remember, I said it can come down to 3, but there we go, it hit it perfect. So we went through, we tested trend. You see how it's important that we want to close outside of trend. We then came back down, we tested the 1.3, 1.4 zone, and now I'm patient for the break of the 1.6. A close outside of this daily will be a good sign for us, and then we can possibly be seeing, a $2 to $2.5 ADA at this point. So I'm not buying just yet. I'd rather wait. I'll update you guys by tomorrow. But a close of this wedge, I think, investments and short-term wise, I think it's going to do really well. Chainlink's beautiful for me. So this for me, I'm at a short-term buy for Chainlink, as well as a topping up zone for investments. I do know that, there is still a opportunity between $18 and $20. That for investor is my beautiful zone. That's the zone that I want. But short time frame wise, although the RSIs are reset, it's looking good. I would be topping up a little bit as an investor, yeah, personally myself. But if it obviously goes to the 17 to the $20, that's my golden zone. Let's go have a look quickly at Matic. Cool, Matic did come back to $2. I think anytime, short time frame wise, I'm patient with Matic, but I think whenever Matic comes between 1.8 and 1.95, somewhere in that zone, I think as an investor, it's great. It's a beautiful test of support. We have all RSIs getting reset. The daily is on its way down, so it is possible it can come back to the 1.9 or the 1.85 zone, and that's where I want to be topping up on the support as an investor. I think it's looking good. Taking a little bit of time as a short-term trader to see what's happening there. Phantom, guys, no buys here for me, but it's looking good. We are getting a little bit of losing of steam. We had bearish divergence on the daily at the zone over here. And I don't know, the volume is not really matching the move so much anymore. So, it's looking good for me. But I personally took, I took a little bit of profits into Phantom, and I don't want to get out of the market. I don't want to have to go to USDT. So I took some Phantom, I stocked up a little bit more Cardano, I stocked up on a little bit of Theta, I stocked up on those. And no, because I think that Phantom's had such a strong run. Possibly it does some more, but I think the other coins, because they've been sucked so dry, I think they're going to have a better run for the next month or two. And then I'll come back to Phantom. I just feel like it's losing maybe a little bit of steam. This is my personal opinion. But yeah, I'm banking some profits on Phantom in these areas between 2.9, 3.3, 3.4, anywhere in these zones. And I'm not getting out of the market. I'm just shifting it into another coin. I just feel I've made some fantastic gains on Phantom. I don't want to run in a wheel anymore, by repeating the same things as previous times. So I'm just changing it up a bit. And I think I still have my long-term views of it. But I am banking a little bit of profits on it, definitely. Atom, no buys for me. I do think it's going to explode. I'd rather wait for the all-time high break and possible retest. I want to buy a pullback. But anyone that's in Atom, I definitely won't be selling. Like, this is on the verge of ripping. If Bitcoin bounces and we get a strong candle from Bitcoin, I think Atom's going to absolutely moon. So I think if you've got some good entries, hold strong. I think it's going to give you a really massive ride. I think it's going to do very well. So that's looking good. Let's have a look. Have I missed anything? I saw Rose. Let's go through Rose quickly. Oh, beautiful test. So short term, I'll be quite interested on the Rose trade. I don't know, investment wise, I think it's done a lot. But this is good. You see why you don't chase pumps, guys? You wait for the break, you wait for the test. So this for me, short-term frame, I'll be keeping my eye on it. I think it can be good. I would jump into a 4-hour. I'll just go have a look. Maybe there's some trends there. Oh, there we go, guys. Beautiful trend. And you can see that trend perfectly. So a 4-hour close of that trend, short time frame wise, I think I can make some money. That's looking good. GRT is still looking great in the zones. Render's waking up. It hit really critical key levels. So I think Render's, I think it's cheap. I think we are getting really cheap now. We do have one more support that is around 2.6. So I think investment wise, I'll be a little patient. There's no higher high just yet. But if you can catch Render anywhere between 2.6, 2.7, I think it's a bargain, guys. I think it's a really, really golden zone to be catching it investment wise. Short time frame wise, we'll just wait for some higher highs and see where we're looking at. Sushi, I think investment wise is getting to a zone. I think it comes back anywhere at 5.8 to $6 region. I think it's a golden zone for investors for Sushi. That's looking good. Aave is back to entry. So you see the little short-term trade we took last week. 2-3 of them stopped out. 2-3 of them hit TPs. And you can see how Aave had the little spike up, take profits straight back in buy zone. So I'll be giving a little bit more time. I do want to catch this probably 205 to 210. And then I'll be taking some short-term trades on that with a stop loss on 200. I'm not too sure yet investment-wise yet. I just want to give it a little bit more candle print. And I'd rather have it break some higher, resistance points than I'll be looking to be adding them. One that's been waking up quite a bit is dYdX. It's about to break the first higher high that's made in a while. So this is looking good. I do think at some point it will come back and test the region of 7.5 to 7.7, and this looks great for me for entry, especially shorter time frame. And I think investment wise, we're looking good. You know what I mean? This thing's been trending down a long time. I mean, there's the break, and it's a key break, and we're getting volume, and we're going to get across the upward side. Let's go look at the weekly. Okay, there's no data for the weekly stochastic. But look at that. I mean, that's looking good. That's looking really good. I think I'm going to add this as another chart of the day on the website. But that's looking great, guys. So I think dYdX, keep interested. And what I'm doing with this, guys, I'm being a little bit clever. I know the market's slow and at times, but Phantom's mooned the last few months. Luna's mooned the last few months. I've been moving a little bit of those coins into the next ones now that are breaking key levels. I think those will slow down a little bit at some points. Maybe they go a bit more, but I feel there's a lot of growth to happen, and I don't want to waste that. So I'm going to be shifting in between a few of them. Let's have a look here. Zol's good. Investment wise, I'm happy. I'm dollar costing. It's the same zone we keep getting bought up here, so it's looking good. No short term yet. This is going to be one of my favorites when we do get into short term trades. But this investment wise, dollar costing is looking great. Let's look at Arweave. Okay, get that back. There we go. So it's sort of what I'm looking at for Arweave. Little push up, 56, come back, 40, 40. A little bit more consolidation. I do think short time frame we should be looking at it, and I think any dips in the region between $35 and $40 investor wise, golden zone. It's looking fantastic. We look at super right on support right now. So for me as an investor, I'm interested, and I'm going to be dollar costing in the zone definitely. Let's have a look at Algo. Algo is looking good investment wise, not short time just yet, but any dips in the region of 1.1 to 1.2. 1.3 in the zone, dollar costing. I think investment wise you're catching a really good bargain here. So that's looking good. Looking at VET, also just holding on support at this point. So if we have a look, you actually want to be taking that trend there, dropping that down. You can see we're on support right now. So I won't be going too crazy, but I'll be topping up a little bit of my long-term bags here. Short time frame, I'm giving a bit of time, but these coins really moon when we get into a really strong system. Look what it did. It goes absolutely crazy. So I'm looking at it's cheap. It's looking really cheap, and the fundamentals are still good. So it's looking great.
Sheldon, no.
Yo. Thank you for letting me use the studio, bro.
Welcome.
Yeah, guys. So I think that's it for now. A lot of nice little charts for you guys, just in case I'm not always able to jump on all the time. Remember, on the website, all the chart of the days are there. Remember to use CoinPanel below. All of my charts are on CoinPanel. So make sure you do, if you want to get a little bit more active, you want to learn so much, it's the only way I can communicate. So make sure you have joined that below and you're in. And yeah, guys, make sure you're on all of our social media platforms so I can keep you updated on anything. And if we do go live and make any new shows or any massive thing happens, I can tell you this: if the market stays sort of sideways, I'll be a little bit, in and out. But if we do have a break of 46 or any key levels breaking in the market, we'll be doing some emergency streams and making sure that you guys are capitalizing. So hit that like one more time, show some love, and I'll see you all on the next show.
People were counting your going.
That went to about 5.5.
Yeah, because it's not the normal time.
Yeah.
That's fine.